Next on BYUSN, T-minus 1 day to BYU spring scrimmage. What are we interested to see during tomorrow's events?
Plus, who is the new BYU Football Radio analyst? We'll tell you who it is, and he joins the program.
Welcome to BYU Sports Nation, presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. It is Thursday, March 30th. I am Spencer Linton. He is Jarom Jordan, and as you can tell, we're very excited about Major League Baseball opening day.
Yes, we are. You know, Orioles coming off a really nice year where there was a lot of improvement. I saw the Orioles play the Mariners last year in Seattle. It was fun. You know, it's going to be an improved year for the Orioles. It's exciting. Then the Mariners actually have expectations to
They went to the playoffs last year.
I know, went to Game 3. It was amazing. That's where I bought the Julio jersey. So let's go, baby. It's opening day, and it's a fun 6-month journey, and hopefully it yields improvement for both our teams.
Yeah.
For me, that hopefully is a World Series championship. We actually feel like we got a shot. Last year was like, just end the drought, make the playoffs. That was amazing. So exciting. So, yeah, let's go, baby.
Our good friend Brandon Crow, one of our producers, said, the next presidential candidate that makes Major League Baseball opening day a national holiday, he's got my vote.
He's got a vote.
Doesn't matter party, just if he makes that a holiday, he's got my vote.
It's like in high school when it's like the kid that says, oh, yeah, I'll get Coke out of the drinking fountains. Yeah, it's like, can that realistically happen? That would be fun. Okay, here's what's on today's show. What are you most interested in seeing in tomorrow's spring football scrimmage? We'll weigh in. Chase Roberts weighs in. Some interesting stuff there. The new football radio analyst is announced and will join us. We'll tell you who it is in just a second. And what do we like about an early bowl projection in the Big 12? And setter Heath Hughes on the resurgent volleyball team and matches with USC tonight and tomorrow. He will join us in studio. But first, here are today's headlines.
Beginning with BYU football, spring practices continuing yesterday, and following yesterday's session, wide receiver Cody Epps on what he enjoys most about quarterback Kedon Slovis.
The thing that I appreciate most and love the most about the way he approaches the game is everything is with intent and with intensity. So whether it's in meetings, whether it's on the field, he's always asking how could he have done better, what was he looking at, how could he have changed the look or changed the throw and things of that nature. And then in film, he's always trying to dial into the small intricacies and the details of the offense. So, I mean, it's just so fun to be around him and talk ball with him on a consistent basis and watch him make crazy throws. So
the word I take from all of that is surgical, and that is what Kedon Slovis is trying to become, a quarterback surgeon. Practice continues tomorrow. Of course, you can watch that scrimmage live on BYUtv at 5 Eastern.
Hans Olsen is the new BYU Football Radio analyst. Olsen played for BYU from 1996 to 2000, is a co-host with Scott Gerard on Hans and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We'll chat with Hans in the next segment. I think he is the absolute best pick for this that was available. Congratulations to Hans. And congratulations to all of us, because we're going to have a fun time with Greg and Hans and Mitchell this season.
Listen, I was just happy that BYU got a former Arena Football League star.
That's what they were really looking for.
That's what they needed.
That fact didn't make the graphic.
That's what they needed. Number 7, BYU men's volleyball. Still doing work at home, where they have been literally unbeatable this season. Hosting number 11 USC tonight, 9 Eastern. USC riding a 4-game losing streak. BYU hoping to make it 5 straight. The Cougars have won 26 straight at home against the Trojans.
Go back to 96, bro.
Wow. You can watch that live on BYUtv or the BYUtv app.
BYU baseball on the road for a 3-game series at Gonzaga tonight, 9 Eastern time on the BYU Radio app.
BYU gymnastics had their season come to a close yesterday afternoon in Los Angeles during regional competition, falling in a head-to-head play-in scenario against Boise State. The Broncos put up one of their best scores of the season. BYU just not quite good enough. Anissa Alvarado, Elise Rollins, Kylie Quinto, and Sydney Benson all advancing to the second day of competition as individual competitors, however.
Track and field concluded day 1 of 4th. The Texas Relays Decathlon, highlighted by sophomore Ben Barton, who took first in the 400 with a 47.32 new PR, second in the 100 long jump and high jump. Dallin Vorkamp took third in the shot put as part of the decathlon as well.
Another tournament for BYU softball. They're back on the road today, and the challenge is mighty. 12th ranked LSU, game time set for 7 Eastern. BYU 15-7 this season, looking for a signature victory.
Men's tennis is home after 8 straight road matches, longest stretch away since 2006. Cougars host number 20, Stanford. trying to replicate what happened in football at the BYU indoor courts today, right after the show.
BYU women's golf wrapping up play at the Anuenue Spring Break Classic in Hawaii. BYU finishes 6th, led by Alicia May Mateo, who finished tied for 9th individually at 3 under par. Men's golf will tee it up today for the Goodwin Tournament at Stanford Golf Course. 28-team field, including top programs such as Georgia Tech, Oklahoma, and Stanford. You know what? We're talking top programs. Let's throw BYU into the mix as well. Come on.
Young.
All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
Here's an experienced guy that's been there and done it before. And with Aaron Roderick's creativity and Epps and Hall and Roberts and Rex and company, the sky's the limit.
What's Trending presented by Tim Daly Ford, part of the Tim Daly Auto Group, serving Utah since 1968. Tomorrow we get a good look at BYU football nearing the end of their spring practices as we take on the spring scrimmage. Not a game. Not a game. It's the spring scrimmage.
Thank you, Brother Iverson.
What are you most interested in watching and seeing tomorrow during BYU football's publicized live on BYUtv scrimmage?
Whether it's going to snow. No, just kidding.
Right?
The number one thing for me is Keaton Slovis. I am excited to see Keaton Slovis in action. We've been watching in the media availability at practice, but it's an opportunity for everyone to see what he can do. Certainly he needs to be good because BYU is coming off of Zach Wilson and Jaron Hall. You hope that he's improved because the last 4 years he has decidedly been worse in passer efficiency. I think that 160 plus is the goal for him.
Okay.
And you look back at his last 4 years. He goes 127 last year at Pitt. That's not good. 133 in 21, not good either. 2020, 144 is fine. But his freshman year, he was really good. 167.6.
He had 2 NFL receivers.
More than that, I think. Like, it was awesome, right? Now, does he have 2 NFL receivers here? We'd like to think so at some point, but who knows? Aaron Roderick has done an excellent job with the final season of each of his last 2 quarterbacks as well. 2022 with Jaron Hall was a 160.8. That was 12th in the country. And then in 2020, Zach Wilson's numbers were ridiculous. Number 2 pick, 196.4 was the BYU record. It was 2nd in the country. If I had to look at any number, it would be pass efficiency because it takes into account everything. My hope is that Keaton Slovis can be a 160-plus guy. He will throw more picks than these 2 did, though. But he's going to find the middle of the field perhaps a little bit better than those 2 did, per John Beck, talking to you and us, right? So I'm excited to see Keaton. And you chatted with Chase Roberts. This conversation will air perhaps next week or perhaps online. But Chase Roberts answered the question you asked him, which is, what's the difference between Jaron Hall and Keaton Slovis? Here's what he said.
What Keaton does so great is his accuracy. And Jaron was so athletic, he could move and had those the big burst of speed, whereas Keaton can kind of chill and just you trust him with his pinpoint accuracy. I think that's the biggest thing that run your route right, and kind of a little more freedom to move around. He's going to put it in the right spot, even if you're covered a little bit and don't get off cleanly, that he'll put that ball right where you need it to. So I guess that's the little change that I've seen.
Look at the way he smiles when he says he'll put that ball right there.
He's excited. I think Keaton Slovis is more like John Beck than certainly Zach Wilson and Jaron Hall were. Different styles of play. But when you bring in a guy that's a 66% passer, he's like 23 yards away from 10K yards, 68 touchdown passes. I am very excited for Aaron Roderick to get the opportunity to work with Keaton and see what he can do. And obviously my excitement kind of bleeds into the season, but tomorrow I'm very excited to watch Keaton Slovis in LaVell Edwards Stadium as the BYU quarterback. Like, if you had told us this 5 months ago, I would have thought you were nuts. The BYU would get Keaton Slovis. This is awesome.
Let's say that Keaton Slovis just hits his career averages and you divide those yards by 3 seasons. That's 3,300 yards. And
you're doing 3 even though he's played 4?
Yeah, 2020 I'm kind of not counting because
they played like 6
6 games, right? It's kind of a weird deal. And so, yeah, I'm kind of doing it based on, taking it based on like 3 full seasons. But even if we did include those 6 games, like it doesn't dilute it that much. They still throw him for 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. I do want it to be a little bit better than that, though.
Sure.
Right? Like if Kedon Slovis can go for 3,400 or 3,500 yards.
That'd be a big number.
And 25 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. That's what Jaron Hall and Zach Wilson have done so well and did so well at BYU, was take care of the ball. They just did not make a lot of mistakes through the air. Kedon Slovis, like I'm with you. I think he's a little bit more of a risk taker because he is surgical and he is a precision passer.
More touchdowns. You know what I mean?
It's the Ty Detmer factor. Ty Detmer was that guy that's like,
all-time leading interceptor.
I think I can make that throw.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to pay off, and then it will come back to bite you at times.
You may have 2 picks, but you might have 5 touchdown passes.
Yes. I'm very excited to watch Kedon execute the offense, lead the charge. I don't know how much of a script he is going to have. Maybe Aaron Roderick lets him kind of just do his thing on a drive or two where he's calling all the plays and he's making switches at the lines. I'm interested to watch that. Like, how much freedom does Kedon Slovis have in tomorrow's scrimmages?
Can I answer that for you?
Sure.
BYU ain't going to show much. BYU does not want opposing teams to look at this and know what they're doing. So I imagine
certainly they're not going to like throw out new stuff.
Right, but I imagine it will be somewhat bland.
Did they let him run a 2-minute drill? Is what I'm saying, and like just like
perhaps
he's calling plays.
If I'm BYU, I'm not giving away much, right? Yeah. So this is going to be more about the backups. I'm excited to watch Kedon for sure, but if you're expecting like exactly what BYU is going to do in Game 3 at Arkansas, I don't think BYU is going to show much in the first 2 games. To be honest,
they don't have to. They shouldn't have to.
I think we won't see the true BYU offense until like Game 3.
Okay.
Against Cincinnati on a Friday night at home.
Game 4?
Is that game?
Yeah, because Game 3 is Arkansas.
Game 3 of Big 12.
Oh, gotcha. Game 3 of the Big 12
The first
slate?
2 games, Arkansas, BYU starts to roll it out. Kansas, you start to roll it out more. Cincinnati, now it's like, okay, we're full bore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. There will be wrinkles for sure.
Because you have to evolve. You can't go all in, then every team knows everything you do. You have to evolve.
Hey, I think we're all clearly excited to see what Jay Hill's going to do on defense.
Absolutely.
They might not show much, but they should show at least the base, right? Mm-hmm. At least the base.
Let's show a little something.
And some aggression. So I want to see Kedon Slovis in the offense, albeit missing some key parts at receiver, but, you know, whoever they roll out there against this new-look defense. And Chase told me yesterday as well that the energy of the new staff on the defensive side of the ball is now transcending into the offensive side of the ball and raising the level of competition. Listen to this.
I think it's been coming a lot from the new coaching staff on defense and just bringing that fire every day, and it rolls over into the offense as well. When we see them coming at us, bringing those blitzes and being physical, then we come back with that physicality and we want to make plays and show them who's on the right side of the ball, right? So it's been fun, and there's been a lot of intensity and I love it.
He specifically mentioned Eddie Heckard. He was like, that dude is super physical and really, really fun and a challenge to play against.
That's great.
And I love that Eddie Heckard was mentioned because...
That is the most BYU name of all time.
But I like that he referenced him individually because he's the new guy.
Yeah.
But he's already making impact, a couple of months in. And we're hearing the same things from Kedon Slovis. Like, these are all good signs. We won't really know until the games start.
Right.
But it's fun to speculate, like, hey, these guys are going to make an immediate impact on BYU football.
I don't think Aaron Roderick feels like he has to make any kind of statement tomorrow. But I do feel like Jay Hill probably feels that a little bit, where he's like, you know what, I need to give him a taste. You've shown up at my new restaurant. Let me give you a little bit of an appetizer. Not the opening quite yet. I'm not going to give you a full, entree here, but let me give you just a little something.
It's an appetizer.
To tease you.
Yeah.
I think that will happen defensively tomorrow, where we'll see, oh, that's different. I'd love to see Isaiah Banya a little bit. Is Tyler Batty improved? Now, there are certain dudes who are hurt who will not participate tomorrow. Let's just name a couple of them. Aiden Robbins still getting back from a wrist injury.
Cody Epps.
Max Tooley and Ben Bywater are out. So there are opportunities for other guys. Will the BYU secondary dominate? Oh, let's have this discussion. Tomorrow, I don't want either side of the ball to have been dominant. I want balance.
Okay.
I agree with Thanos only on the balance tomorrow, not his general philosophy. But the idea of balance is good. If the defense dominates, it's like, well, what's wrong with the offense? If the offense dominates, well, what's wrong with the defense? I would love for us to feel like each side had some really good plays.
Will we see the ones versus the ones, though? Because we could have a scenario where it's
we might not.
The ones on offense versus the second team defense, and the offense dominates. That's that portion, right?
Then what? It's like, well, shouldn't they?
And then we see the second team offense going against the first team defense.
Yep.
And the defense dominates the second. Like,
shouldn't they?
Is that the balance you want, or do you want to see balance ones on ones, twos on twos?
Well, and we're going to chat with the coaches coming up here at noon and know more ahead of tomorrow. But I would imagine, well, we'll see if they go one on ones versus ones. We'll see. I'm not sure you need that in spring ball. I don't need ones versus ones. But maybe in the first spring televised scrimmage ever, they're like, yeah,
just give me one series.
We're going to suit up ones on ones.
Just give me one series where it's the ones on ones.
And you know, Keaton's not going to be able to be tackled, and, you know, you'll have certain elements of this. You want to stay healthy into the offseason, and hopefully everyone's healthy coming out of this. But it will also be a great look at what's this group like together.
Yeah.
This isn't the full BYU team. Like we said, not everyone's playing. There will be P5 transfers that come in after this that fill important places on this team. So this isn't fully the team. You know, it's probably like 78% or 87% of what BYU is going to look like. Like, it's towards that. What is this group like together? What's the energy? What's the vibe?
We've been hearing about it. Now we get to see it.
Yeah, and everyone else gets to see it, right? How much does the defense overwhelm the offense with its sort of new energy and Jay Hill epitomized kind of philosophy and everything? Offensively, the BYU offense, like, you lost some weapons there. You lost 3 NFL guys, maybe 4 or 5, you know, with, you know, at skill positions that matter: quarterback, left tackle, running back, wide receiver. Like, what does this offense look like? We're pretty confident that it's going to be good, but we're not going to see Aiden Robbins. We won't see Cody Epps. I can't remember if Keanu Hill's competing in spring.
Keanu Hill is playing in spring. He was yesterday anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, certain guys are coming back from injuries. So we'll see what this group's like. And then, yeah, Jake Retzloff as the backup quarterback. That's also important. Like, how does he look? Of course, the play yesterday that came out on social media.
Little sidearm
to Anthony Olsen, little tight end in the mix. Keep his name, you know, in your mind there. Yeah, what does he look like? He's going to get a bunch of run. I would think we're going to see more Jake than we see Keaton, because you want to protect Keaton a little bit. So
okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, you brought up the tight ends.
Finnegan.
What does the tight end group look like tomorrow?
Outside of Isaac Rex, who's showing up?
Yeah, and are they going to attack the middle of the field with the tight ends? Will BYU show any of that, or is that something that they're potentially holding for later in the season?
Yes. Is it a lot of, like, wide zone run? You know, yeah, we'll see what BYU rolls out.
Oh, this is the day and age we live in. But you got to be careful. There's some paranoia. Like,
even if it's just pretty bland, I'm stoked that this is finally on TV for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I love it. I know the team has tried to protect spring ball before. We are really appreciative of the opportunity to be there tomorrow. It'll be great.
It's a reason to discuss football at Lavelle Edwards Stadium in late March.
It's just nice to
I'm saying at
there.
Lavelle Edwards Stadium.
We can always just go and do the show at an empty stadium, but it's nice when the guys are
Come on. Our question of the day is this: what are you most interested to see from BYU football in tomorrow's spring scrimmage? Live on BYUtv. Coulter Gill on Twitter answers, the first time that we will see Keaton Slovis is what interests me personally.
Amen.
And we've seen Keaton Slovis in practice, but again, this is in Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Chris Wetzel answers on Twitter, on offense, I'm excited to see how Slovis and Aiden Robbins look. We're not anticipating that Aiden Robbins is going to play.
Robbins is out, recovering from a wrist injury. Yep.
Then it'll be the defense as a whole. Excited to see what the new staff has implemented. Ben Peterson adds on Twitter, how the new players are fitting in so far. I'm also excited to see the new defense, but my guess is they are going to keep it pretty basic.
Yes, but what if Eddie Heckard has like 2 interceptions tomorrow or something? You know, like, what if...
Is that balance?
Is that balance? Well, it depends. Is it the third-string quarterback?
Okay.
Is it the threes?
You'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Well,
if he's picking up Keaton Slovis twice, though?
We're going to say, there's issues. But also, don't overblow one single practice in spring.
That's what I'm saying. You cannot do that. No.
Yeah, let's be careful here. Here's the thing, though.
Even if one side of the ball dominates tomorrow, like...
No matter what happens, we will overdo it on Monday.
Overreaction Monday.
No matter what.
Hashtag BYUSN to join the conversation, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay, we got the scrimmage. We got the alumni day. We got a volleyball match tomorrow. But the first thing tomorrow is a 2-hour alumni day special. Look at the lineup of this.
Incredible.
Colley, Keel, Jensen, Pitta, Rex, Beck, Harleen, Satake, Slovis, Hall, Detmer, Algier. Loaded!
Let's go ahead and throw another legendary name into the mix, Hans Olsen, who will join us fresh off the announcement that he is joining Greg Wrubell in the radio booth as the BYU Football Radio analyst. What excites him most about his new role? Is he going to play in the alumni game tomorrow? This is BYU Sports Nation.
Got a free polo, I'll tell you that.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by the Tim Daly Auto Group, serving Utah since 1968.
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork offers a large inventory of Ford vehicles, including a selection of cars and trucks, providing a range of transportation choices. From the Ford Fusion sedan and the Edge crossover SUV to a range of pickups including the F-150. Each product line comes with options to enhance performance, comfort, and safety. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
I was adopted as a baby.
Love, that's the missing piece.
4 teams are racing to find their family.
I would really love to meet my parents. It's high time that we see each other again.
I'm your dad, Tommy.
I'm your sister, love.
Really?
I just want her to know I forgive you.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to an all-new season of Relative Race.
We are live in Studio B with your day-to-day BYU sports play-by-play. It is Major League Baseball opening day. We're repping our colors, but frankly, let's put that on the back burner.
Colors, man. Teal and orange.
Let's put it on the back burner for now and talk BYU football with one of the legends of the program. Hans Olsen is in Studio B for the first time officially as the new BYU Football Radio analyst. Congratulations on the new gig.
Appreciate it. And if I would have known you were wearing that color orange, I would have worn my sunglasses.
So bright.
Woo, that's bright.
You're going to get some nice UV rays here. Hans is going to have a nice suntan after this interview.
It's almost the same color as my tanner that I put on.
You're a big bronzer guy, I know. Yeah.
Hey, when did this whole conversation about you potentially being the radio analyst begin?
I guess it's probably been about a month that we've been working through these things and just had the opportunity to at least look at it and was thrilled with the prospects of it.
This is so exciting because obviously you've been in radio for a long time with Scotty G, who we love, and you do a great job. And now doing games, you've been doing a couple games. You did some you did like a couple bowl game or a couple bowl games. Getting into the game side of it, let's be honest. The reason that everything else exists besides the games is to get to the games, right? So now you're in the game. What does it mean to be the next in line at that position where, listen, Mark Lyons had that forever. Riley did a tremendous job, and now you're the next in line. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's funny. I've gone into a lot of deep thought on that. And what it means to me is representing the generation that I came through, representing the Lavelle Edwards era, representing Tom Ramage and his amazing vision of what the defensive line should be, representing Roger French and Ken Schmidt and Brian Mitchell and that group of coaches, representing the players that came through my generation, guys that really do deserve that recognition, and guys that are coaching. Obviously, Justin Enna and Kalani Sataki, and really it goes down the list, Aaron Roderick, and so on. A lot of guys that deserve that. My goal is to represent them and try to make them proud, along with the BYU fans and my family. I want to make people proud.
Hans Olsen is with us on BYU Sports Nation as the new radio analyst joining Greg Wrubell. What were those conversations like with Greg in the buildup as you were trying to figure things out? And I mean, I know you've known Greg for a long time. He called your games in some part in the year 2000, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or leading up to.
And he was on the sideline with his Batman utility belt.
He was with you. So what were those conversations like?
Well, boy, in complete honesty, it was extremely humbling. Very humbling. Because I have not been approached by BYU often. And as you mentioned, I've been here for 16 years doing radio. And been breaking down the game for a lot of years. 5 years on a national broadcast for bowl games, as you were mentioning. So I've been around doing it a long time. And when he called, it was just this real feeling of humility and just gratitude that I would be considered for something like this. You know, it's emotional. I've fought back tears multiple times. It's exciting to be in a booth that I'm so familiar with, that I played for, that I've talked about for 16 years, and sat on the outside, the skirts of it, doing pre and post games. For 16 years, I've done BYU pre and post game shows, and to be brought into the booth, man, I don't share that deep of emotion very often, but fought back a lot of tears during those conversations, and gratitude to Greg.
And as being in this position, you are in the inner sanctum now. Like, you are welcomed into, you are literally part of the team.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And we're excited to get to work with you way more often, which will be great as well. Also, part of the sort of rite of passage of becoming the analyst is taking a picture like this one.
Yeah. Oh, this is fantastic.
Greg, which is sort of Step Brothers-ish, which is awesome. Now you're in, and you have the same shirt on, which is the official shirt of BYU Football Radio at this point.
Oh boy, man,
that's a classic, an instant classic.
You guys look great.
Greg called me for the pictures. He said, "Hey, if you could shave your head."
You had grown it out. It was crazy looking.
Oh, man.
Well, and it's not the first sort of look that we've debuted on this program like this.
It's not.
We had you and Shep.
Yeah, listen, we
a similar one.
We like we like brotherly pictures, bro.
I think I left that day, and then later I was like, "You guys did what?"
Oh.
Apparently, you've deleted all those.
How will your life change now? Because you mentioned you've been doing radio for 16 years, the pre and post game specifically at BYU, and you got a daily show and you're super busy. So how will this impact your day to day?
Not much, and that's probably why this was a good fit for me. I'm already doing a lot of video reviews, and I think people are probably familiar with some of my work.
They're awesome.
I do a lot of football breakdowns, and I do it kind of statewide. So it won't change a ton. I do a lot in researching opponent, so I know who BYU's got coming up. I know the personnel so that I can talk intelligently about it on my daily show. It will include a little bit more travel, so I'll be away from the family a little bit, but as we talked to Greg and back and forth with Casey and others, it was an open opportunity to find flights that fit so I could watch my son play in high school and watch my youngest daughter continue to play and have an opportunity to get out and see them. It'll change some of the weekends plans, but it doesn't change a lot of my life. It just adds an incredible component to it, a really great component to it. I keep thinking about this too. I actually called Mark Durant. I'm like, so Mark, how do we do this thing? And Mark said, you keep your mouth shut and you don't ruin it for Greg. Greg is the master at this.
Greg's the man.
And he said, just keep your mouth shut and don't ruin it because Greg's going to make this great. So excited to work with Greg, excited to work with Mitch. I mean, these guys are high-end professionals, and I'll just do my best to stay back and not ruin it. Just see if I can add some to it.
It means in the fall you don't have to teach Sunday school.
It does that.
Because you won't be in town 6 of the weeks. Is this a bigger deal than Merrill being on, Little House on the Prairie?
Oh, Merlin? Oh.
Merlin, sorry, Merlin.
Ah, jeez.
The legend.
You know what? I guess if I had Michael Landon in the booth with me,
then it would be.
then maybe. No, it's definitely not. He called Super Bowls, so
that's legit.
Yeah, he was on.
I just wanted to bring up Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, and we still watch reruns. Yeah,
sure.
As a kid, I was like, dude, there's Merlin Olsen. He's on Little House on the Prairie. He also played football.
I was thinking of changing my broadcast name to Jonathan Garvey, but that is a Little House reference.
Nice.
Listen, this audience gets that.
Yeah.
The old KBYUers.
This is our version of Highway to Heaven on BYUtv and BYU
That still airs on BYU. Yeah,
with Hans Olsen and Michael Landon.
Another great movie.
Let's talk spring football. We're going to get somewhat of a look at BYU tomorrow in scrimmage format.
Yeah,
You've been around practice. You have an idea of the energy and the vibe that we've all been talking about. We've been to practice, but now fans are going to get to watch it live on TV. So what do you think we're going to see actually revealed by BYU tomorrow, and what are you looking for in that format?
Depending on how deep you go into the game, you'll get to really see the different defensive fronts that Jay Hill's bringing, and that's exciting. Some of the defenses that people are going to get to see, the aggression on the outside, and some of the things that he can do in multiple coverages and really mixing things up. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for people to see what Kelly Popinga and Justin Enna and Jay Hill and Sione Pua and Gennaro Guilford, who remains, what they do defensively. And if you don't catch some of those nuances, I'll be talking about a lot of those nuances. The personnel, I think, is going to speak for itself. I think people are going to be excited to see some of the returning missionaries. Obviously, the transfer, Keaton Slovis. You're going to get a real taste for his release and some of his vision in Aaron Roderick's offense, and how Fesi Satake and Aaron Roderick work together with Keaton to try to get him up to where you had a Zach Wilson or you had a Jaron Hall. That's the hope, that you can get Keaton Slovis to that level of performance, accuracy, and efficiency. And I'm excited because BYU fans are going to get to see this offensive line for the first time. And I have a belief that this offensive line is, and I know losing Blake Freeland's really difficult.
And the Barringtons.
Those are really difficult.
Yeah.
But I think there are some amazing components. I cannot wait for people to see Kingsley's growth. Kingsley Suamataea
he's special.
He's one of those special offensive linemen on the outside, and I'm really excited about that. And then I think that Connor Pay in the inside taking those center snaps is really going to anchor that thing down. They're just going to get a sense of what this first Big 12 team is going to look like. And I'm excited for them to see it, specifically the defensive side, because it's going to look, it's recognizably different.
Yes.
It's exciting.
And I think recognizably better. Those are the fingers crossed.
Yes, that is the hope. And hope springs eternal.
And prayer.
Well, I know
everybody.
This staff, I actually sent out a staff wish list when we knew that the defensive staff was going to change.
Yeah.
This staff was essentially my wish list.
Every element.
There was one name that was left off, but
you got 3 out of the 4.
This was the group.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the group.
Can you write some more wish lists?
People should be thrilled about Jay Hill. One of the things of me taking this job was thinking, I am so pumped to call these games.
Yes.
For Jay and for Aaron Roderick and for Kalani.
And Big 12.
Because these guys' vision of football is awesome. And to call the Big 12 games.
Amazing.
What a thrill.
It's going to be awesome.
To have a chance with Oklahoma and Texas. As you mentioned, I've done a lot of SEC games. I've called the Ole Misses and the Iowas and the Kentuckys. I've called a lot of those big Big Ten SEC matchups. And I love those. But it's Big 12, it's conference play. And I'm hoping to bring that energy, excitement. I will warn people, you probably think of me as being kind of a comedian funny. When the game kicks,
all business.
It's actually business. Yep. And it's not pulled into a brand, it's pulled into the game. And I get pulled into the emotional matchups and aspects of the game. And I try to bring that through the broadcast. The matchups, I identify certain matchups going into a game, the battles inside the big battle. And I focus on those things and get drawn into them emotionally. And so I try to take people on that journey during game day in those broadcasts. I'm excited about that.
Hans, congratulations again.
Yeah, congrats,
we're
man.
thrilled to have you.
Awesome.
We're thrilled to have you be more of a, an integral part of BYU Sports Nation altogether. Can't wait to listen. And if you could make a wish list that includes at least 8 wins for BYU football next year,
that'd be nice.
That'll be great.
That'd be great.
Congrats, man.
We can make it.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
You got it.
Yep.
Okay, Friday, tomorrow, we've got the football scrimmage live at 5 Eastern time from LaBelle Edwards Stadium. Weather could be interesting. We got you. Tune in. It's part of a huge day on BYUtv, 5 Eastern time for the spring scrimmage.
And how about this? BYU versus Nebraska again, but this time in a bowl game? Who said it? Who's projecting it? And how do you feel about it? This is BYU Sports Nation.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Introducing the truck for adventure. The all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier doesn't compromise on power or comfort. This midsize truck was redesigned to incorporate the latest technology and designs for safety, comfort, and convenience. Plus, with up to 6,700 pounds of towing capacity and best-in-class horsepower, it's rugged enough for adventure and still safe enough to transport all your favorite people. Where's your new Frontier? You'll find it at Tim Dowling Nissan Southtown and South Jordan.
At BYU, we believe wholeheartedly in expanding joy, and that joy comes from learning and serving. Some of the best, most lasting learning happens when we serve, when we experience, when we connect in real, lasting ways. It's what we call inspiring learning, learning that inspires us to create a better world, to do and be better. After all, light shared is the best kind of light.
Mark?
Some of my favorite moments are hearing from the family room, just a chorus of laughter.
Twas your mother's.
BYUtv has been an escape and a refuge for me.
We forgot about random acts.
We love that one.
Today we wanted to do something nice for you.
I see that change on him after that show.
It just brightened everybody's day.
I can do this. I want to live my life in a way that show showed me.
Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation. You can follow the show on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. A bit of an announcement ourselves as well with the Scrimmage and Alumni Day tomorrow. Joining us on the broadcast with Dave and Blaine will be Kyle Van Noy.
KVN does it again!
He'll hang out with us and have plenty to say, which will be fun, so that'll be great.
It's always nice to have an NFL linebacker join the live broadcast, right?
Yeah. Not named David?
No, I'm saying current. Like current NFL linebacker.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the game right now.
Absolutely. David still plays in my mind, I guess.
He is Jarom. I am Spencer. We were going for the subtle approach with our baseball team gear today.
Not sure who we like.
Let's whip it. Cougar Whip Round presented by Maersk, your e-commerce logistics shipping partner.
Big Game Boomer projects BYU playing Nebraska in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl at Chase Field in Phoenix. What's not to like about this projection?
I love everything about this projection. I'm looking back at 12 seasons of football independence, and never at this point of any preseason was BYU locked in to a somewhat notable bowl game against another Power 5 opponent, like a big name brand. Okay, so the thought of BYU Nebraska in a bowl game is super fun.
11 Power 5 opponents. Let's go. Yeah, and what do you want out of a bowl game? Do you want a compelling opponent?
And a great warm location.
And a great warm location.
Not Shreveport.
And for nice. And for BYU, it's probably like a certain amount of money, right? You're going to get to some bowls to pay out more. The Big 12 is going to have a bowl issue, though, because last year they had ties to 6 plus kind of 2 contingency bowls. Last year, 12 of the 14 teams were bowl eligible of the 14 that they will have this year.
Okay.
So how's that going to work?
Well, maybe some of those teams, because it is a 14-team conference, won't be bowl eligible. Maybe they only have 10 bowl eligible.
But still, there were only 8 last year, so are they adding bowl games? We'll see. I love the idea of, yes, Phoenix, huge fan base in the Valley of the Sun for BYU. Nebraska, the 2015 stuff is great. Yeah, and to me, outside of the New Year's 6 and kind of Alamo, Holiday, and Capital One, all the bowls are kind of the same in terms of like quality / relevance. But certainly there will be bowls that pay more, that have better opponents, that will be more of a game you get up for in the fall, in the almost winter.
You know what I love about this is that BYU, in the late season context, it's like, hey, if they win their final 2 games, or they win their final game, maybe they elevate to the Holiday Bowl. Like, there's that context in play.
Bowl. I wish
right?
Holiday was in the mix. But yeah, Alamo, this is what it was last year. Alamo, Cheez-It, Texas, Liberty, Guaranteed Rate. The 2 that were, in the mix there were Armed Forces First Responder, were like the contingency 2.
Okay.
Those are nice. BYU played in one of those in the last 12 years.
Great.
Armed Forces, and it was the first year.
I just like the idea that, yeah, there's guarantees in there. Guaranteed rate bowl. Come on now.
Free plug.
All right, men's volleyball hosting USC tonight.
I heard that.
They put once again their home undefeated streak on the line, 10-0 this season. Will BYU men's volleyball finish the season unbeaten in the Smithfield House?
Absolutely, they will. I don't believe BYU's going to lose this week against USC tonight and tomorrow at 9 Eastern on BYUtv. Then in 2 weeks, after a bye week, against Stanford. I believe BYU will finish 14-0 at home, undefeated, for only the 3rd time in program history.
Yeah, they've gotten to this point, and they're now better than the remaining games, like better than the teams they play in the remaining matches at home. So, frankly, if they don't finish undefeated at home at this point, it would be disappointing.
Yes, BYU should hold down home court.
Yeah,
they really
14-0. And as you pointed out, maybe they climb to as high as number 5 in the polls.
They could.
Depending on what happens.
They could pass up UC Irvine here.
Yeah, let's just, we're hoping UC Irvine loses significantly to Hawaii this week.
And lose a couple to UCLA this weekend.
So, yeah. Does it need to be
UC
like
Irvine, Hawaii next week?
Do they need to be blown out, GCU and UC Irvine, for BYU to like ascend into the top 5?
Maybe.
So we're hoping for like lopsided wins by the powerhouses.
Can split at home and then not fall. So we'll see.
Okay.
It's opening day in the MLB. Not sure if you could see that. What's the best thing about opening day to you?
Let's see. Every team is 0-0. It's just. It's kind of like, we joked about it being a national holiday. It feels a little bit that way for sports fans. Like, it's just like this collection, like, yes, here we go. It's a renewal. It's the springtime. Even though it's snowing in Utah, there's warmth. There's a newness to it. And hope springs eternal for every Major League Baseball team. Just maybe this is the year for my squad.
Maybe. The great Dave Niehaus said it best. He said, they say that you don't grip a baseball grips you. And today we begin that journey of 162 games. New rules, sped up,
like those.
Bigger bases.
I like that.
No shifts. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a fun season. Let's go. Okay, watch Dennis Pitt and other former BYU greats as they compete one more time at LaVell Edwards Stadium for tomorrow's alumni game, 7 Eastern tomorrow on BYUtv and the app.
Up next, BYU volleyball senior setter Heath Hughes is healthy and back, and he's also in studio. How he overcame a broken finger to help BYU win dramatic matches last week. This is BYU Sports Nation.
Let's go.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Maersk, your e-commerce logistics shipping partner.
Hi, I'm Lizzie from the Food Nanny. I recently got a My Style checking account. It's the perfect blend of rewards and convenient benefits. I love that sound. And now My Style Checking has new features like mobile phone protection, 24/7 telehealth, and my favorite, restaurant discounts. Get the only checking account you truly need and see what's new with My Style at macu.com.
If you're looking to build your brand awareness and increase market share as BYU moves into the Big 12, this is the place, BYU Athletics. We can provide the tools you need to make sure your company is seen and heard. BYU Athletics is where you can align your products and services with loyal fans that cheer for our Cougars. And they can also help your business win. Learn more about what a partnership with BYU Athletics and your company will look like. After all, this is the place. Email sponsorship at byu.edu today.
I was 4 years old when I left Zambia. My dad was born in Sheila, in the south of Italy.
My mom is from Slovakia. We haven't really talked about it, never, not once.
My dad doesn't really talk about his life in Serbia. I just really want to know who he is. And then discover who am I.
Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation. We are live in Studio B. Man, I just think I'm going to get used to the colors on the camera.
I'm kind of getting used to them. Can we do this every day?
Very bright.
No? Okay.
The teal and orange, very bright. We've got a fantastic personality in Studio B with us. Our second guest of the day. He is BYU senior setter, Heath Hughes.
What's up, Heath?
What's up?
How we doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Awesome.
We're great. How's are you feeling coming off overcoming a broken finger and helping BYU win some huge matches?
Fingers don't matter for a setter, right?
It doesn't matter. I'm feeling fresh. I'm ready to go. Happy to be back. It's great to be back on the court.
You were finally cleared fully because you could serve against Ohio State.
Yes.
You missed 6 matches. You served in 2, and then last week you were back. How'd the pinky feel? And you played with it taped to your ring finger, right? Which is probably a little gnarly.
I'm playing with it taped. It's a little weird to set. I'm getting used to it, but it feels normal. It's not as strong as it used to be, so if I go up for a joust, I can feel it a little bit there. But other than that, I told the coaches just treat me like I'm normal. I'm fine. Yeah.
So performance-wise, other than that unique joust situation at the end, you feel 100%.
Just don't think about it. It's not hurt.
And you have 3 screws in there.
Yes.
That's wild. What happened with it, and then how hard was it to kind of sit out those almost 2 months worth of games?
Yeah, so it was just a normal day of practice, and I was going up to block in a blocking drill, and the ball just hit it perfectly right on top of the pinky, and it broke the lower digit, kind of shattered it. Thoughts were that we could just kind of power through it, but it needed surgery to speed up recovery, so we did that. And I mean, it was not ideal sitting out for 6 matches, especially the start of conference in your last season. But it is what it is. You have to stay level and keep going.
Checked out 1 month because you played 2 a week.
Yeah.
But 2 of those were Grand Canyon, where you played.
Yeah.
How hard was that to not be able to play in those matches?
It was pretty difficult. I mean, they did well. We played well against them too, but
I feel like if you're playing Heath, though, you split.
Yeah.
Get one.
Yeah, ideally, yeah. But it was nice to be there and see everyone, be back in the old stomping grounds. But I want to play them 100% again.
In the MPSF tournament?
If that's how it matches up, absolutely.
If there's a 2-3 scenario, that could be in the semis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now we know.
I'm mentally circling this right now. Come on.
In a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Let's go. Heath Hughes is with us on BYU Sports Nation. What has changed for this team from the beginning of the season to now, where here you are, number 7 in the country? You've won 10 at home and lost none. It feels like something has clicked. So what is that? What's working right now for BYU volleyball, and what has helped you kind of turn the page to success?
You know, they always say it's by the end of the season you want to be at your peak, and I think we're on this upward trend, and we're trending at the right point. I think it's the same exact team as last year. We just all have to prove something this year. It's my last year. I want to prove something before I go, and I'm done, and they want to prove that last year was not them. And I think we're trending the right way.
Yeah, 6 more wins than last year already, which has been awesome. And it's a really young group. Your primary pins, Capone's a junior, but like if it's Luke and Trent and Mix, those guys are freshmen or sophomores.
Yeah.
And here you are, the seasoned vet with like old man Mitchell Worthington, right? What's it like to kind of lead this group into what you hope is a very awesome finish to the season?
I mean, oftentimes I don't even realize that they're that young. Like, they play like they're fifth-year seniors. They act like they are veterans of the game, and I love it because, honestly, we lead ourselves. Like, we're all kind of in it together. There's not one person that's like our chief. We're just running it together, and I think it's because we mesh so well together. That's why we're doing so well.
At some point, did you cease to feel like the new guy? Because as a setter, you're inherently a leader.
Absolutely.
But also, it's kind of your 1 year here, right, as a grad transfer?
Absolutely. Like, especially as a setter, I have to come in and figure out how to set all these, 12 guys. Yeah. They all have different sets, figure out as fast as I can while making them like me and want to play next to me. So it was pretty, it was a job the first month I was here, but I kind of like stepped into the role comfortably, and I'm good now. It's
awesome.
It's easy.
It's been fun to watch. Yeah.
Let's stay along that line of questioning. How have you evolved as a player, and how have you changed now that you've been at BYU compared to the product that you were, which was a great one at Grand Canyon?
Yeah. I think it was definitely like a humbling experience, like leaving somewhere and going somewhere new. You have to kind of step out of whatever you built and rebuild. And I think it made me a better player because I had to adapt and change, and I had to set a different offense. It's different than what we wanted to do at GCU, and it like pushed me out of my comfort zone. Yeah.
How would you describe your journey? Because you're from Florida, but you went to GCU in Arizona, and you played beach on the collegiate national team. In fact, in September you went to Brazil, and now you find yourself at BYU, one of the biggest programs in men's volleyball. What's that been like for you?
I would have never thought that I would have ended up here. I mean, I always thought of BYU volleyball as just like this big top 3 powerhouse in the country, and I am definitely used to warm weather. I will say that. With playing beach, Florida, Arizona, it's so cool. Like, I would have never thought that I'd be here.
How would you explain the Smith Fieldhouse as a guy that is now, for the first year, now playing in front of a home crowd at the Smith Fieldhouse?
You played BYU like a million times, too, on the other side.
Right, but on the other side.
Yes.
But as a home, as a member of the home team.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Like, it's a privilege to be able to play in front of 4,000 plus every single match. Like, nobody in the country, maybe one other school gets to do that. And you're lucky. I'm so lucky to play in front of that fan.
It's fun. Every time we show up for a match, it's like, this is going to be a fun night. Like, no matter who the opponent is, no matter the situation. But when you have a 10-0 record and you're in 3rd place, and in comes USC, who sure has struggled, but they are talented. What is BYU in for this weekend against the Trojans?
It's going to be a dogfight. I mean, they're a good team. USC is always a good team. They get a lot of top recruits, well-rounded players. So, I mean, if we don't come out with intensity from the start, they'll jump on us. But being 10-0, I don't feel any pressure because we're just going to go out and do what we always do and play our game, and that comes with good results.
Heath Hughes is with us on BYU Sports Nation. What's next for you in your volleyball career following BYU? Like, is this something you still want to pursue, or is it on to different aspects of life?
So, I mean, the original plan was to keep playing volleyball, whether that's beach volleyball or indoor volleyball, but I stopped by a career fair here at BYU and got hooked up for a really, like, a dream job that I want to do in healthcare administration through BYU. So the offer was too good to not kind of entertain it, so I'm going to go that route first. A lot of athletes kind of go pro and then wait till they get a job, but I got the job first, and we can go pro after. But
so you have a job waiting for you?
I do have a job waiting for me in May.
Awesome.
Outstanding.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's the point of college. This
It
just
is.
in. Is to get a job after, which is awesome. Well, that's sweet. How would you sort of summarize your experience being at BYU this year with this team, and kind of what's left for you guys? Because you have 4 matches left, and then the MPSF tournament. And hey, if you do well there, the NCAA tournament perhaps.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I've just summarized my experience here. It's just, I wish I would have been here the past 4 years. Like, it's been awesome.
Hey, so do we.
And for what's to come, I mean, we're just going to give it our best, and we're going to get the result that the input that we put in is the result we're going to get out. So we're just going to keep giving our best and hope for the best.
And the bangs have to stay above the eyes, right?
The bangs have to stay above the eyes.
Yeah, I feel like preseason they were a little long and
no
you were
more
like
mullet.
shaking them out. No, yeah. What is Mix? What are Mix and Luke doing with their hair, by the way? They're interesting cuts.
We don't really ask. We just, I mean, nobody asked me when I had a mullet, so we kind of just do what you want to do.
Mix got interested. Luke looks like he just woke up, but those dudes can ball. You know what I mean? Which is awesome.
To each their own with hairstyles.
To each their own. Yeah, Steve's had the same haircut since 1992, so it's all good, man.
Heath, great to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on your
Thanks for having me.
success. So glad that you're healthy and feeling good. And good luck against USC tonight and through the weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, watch Heath Hughes and his bangs tonight at 9 Eastern Time against USC. Number 11 versus number 7. We call this the Keaton Slovis Bowl. 9 Eastern Time on BYU.
Oh, we're calling it the Keaton Slovis Bowl.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
I like that. What are you most interested to see in tomorrow's BYU football scrimmage? Our elite response to that question coming up.
Hans!
Look at Big Hans rumble!
Rumbling, stumbling, touchdown!
This
What
is
is
BYU
this
Sports
celebration?
Nation.
What is that?
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
My name is Spencer Finnegan. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. During my sophomore year, I got married to my sweetheart, Mary, and there's tons of unexpected expenses when it comes to marriage. We were looking for scholarships. I found the replenishment grant, and my local alumni chapter gave me a grant to help me focus in on school. I'm so excited to, now that I've graduated, give back to those students that are coming to BYU in the future.
Just about to get a whole lot happier.
So you've been living with no furniture for about 2 months. Well, we're about to change that for you.
Watch as helpful folks lend a hand to those in need. See them refurbish and replenish homes all over the world.
Caitlin left her house when she was 13, and now she's finally home.
With all kinds of shows to explore on the BYUtv app, you're sure to find loads your family can watch together. Stream them all for free.
My mom is from Slovakia. We haven't really talked about it, never, not once.
My dad doesn't really talk about his life in Serbia. I just really want to know who he is.
Everybody at the club has been like my second family. It felt really nice to have my new club clapping and supporting me when I was walking onto the floor.
Proud of you. Yeah, well done. Good job.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
A reminder to join us tomorrow for a 2-hour BYU Sports Nation Alumni Day special. Our question of the day, what are you most interested to see from BYU football in tomorrow's spring scrimmage live on BYU TV? Our elite voice of the day, presented by PAX Healthcare Elevated, comes from Corey on Facebook, who says, I'm hoping to see some spring weather as opposed to the eternal winter we are having.
Winter is coming still? Hopefully not.
Winter is here. It has been for a long time.
Yeah, go away now.
Today's Rise and Shout Out presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics. Let's give it to Hans
Olsen. Super excited to have him part of the team here. It's going to be awesome.
Our thanks to today's guests, Hans Olsen and Heath Hughes of BYU Volleyball.
Guys. Sorry to Dennis Pitta. We ran out of time, although we will see you tomorrow, Dennis.
For Jarom, I am Spencer. Shout out to McKenna Santiago. We'll see you tomorrow for that 2-hour BYU Sports Nation with an incredible guest lineup. Go Cougs.